friends, this is Jesus Over Everything in the key of G. I hope you love this simplified version of how to chord and play along at the same time. So I'm going to teach you some basic chords that'll get you a good foundation to play this song. And before I do that, make sure to stop the video. If you click right below the video, you will find the link to the chord sheet, and it'll make a lot more sense as we dive in. All right, so I'm going to start out with the G chord. So if you look for a group of 3 black notes, you'll find the G kind of tucked in there. Line up your 5 fingers and play every other note. So we have G, B, D, and that makes up our G major chord, okay? If you kind of freeze these fingers, move up here to the C position, which is found to the left of these 2 black notes. Play every other note again, C, E, G, and there's our C major chord, okay? All right, move up 1 set of notes, and then you're just gonna pick up this black note in the middle for our D major. So you're gonna play D, F sharp, A. And this chord kind of makes this triangle shape. So you have the black note at the top, 2 white notes at the bottom, and that's our D major chord, okay? And then we have an E minor. So if you move up your hands 1 set of notes, we have an E minor there. So we have E, G, B, okay? And then I also just saw that we have an A minor chord. So I'm going to break that down for you. Just come over here to the A, and we're going to play A, C, E. Okay, A minor chord. So review, there's our A minor, A, C, E. The G was next door there. And then we have C, D triangle, and then our E minor at the end. That's it, those 5 chords. Okay, so I'm gonna sing and play through verse 1 so you can see how it sounds when you bring the 2 hands together, and then I'll break down the rhythm and we'll go through it together. Okay, here we go. He came from glory, took on flesh to save the lost, grace and mercy displayed upon the cross, our redemption. He's the hope for all mankind, one name over everything, one name over everything. Okay, so how the 2 hands come together is really simple. It's a ratio I call 1-to-2 ratio, and that just means that they're gonna both play at the same time, and then just the right hand by itself. Together, right, together, right, together, right, together, right. And that you could practice on any of those chords, just getting used to getting that basic marching rhythm put together. And that gives you a good foundation to jump from, okay? So for this song, I'm probably gonna put pinky on G in my left hand and line up these 5 fingers and keep this hand here the whole song because I don't wanna be moving both hands out of position. And I'll show you what we could do when we need to stretch for 1 extra note. Okay, so the left hand is playing single notes when our right hand is playing chords. Okay, so just for that G, we're gonna play G in the bass, single note. A minor, we're gonna just play A in the bass. That's how our left hand is gonna come in. C to C, D to D, and E minor to E in the bass. And you'll notice when I played that E, I just gently moved my thumb and moved it open 1 note. I didn't move my hand out of position. That helps to kind of keep this hand staying put. Okay, so let's look at verse 1 together. There's going to be a couple verses and they're going to repeat in this song. So there's going to be a lot of repetition. So if you look at this song, lines 1 and 3 are the same. So we have E minor, D, G, and then we have C, D, and then we have E minor, D, G. So there's repetition going on. If you notice that, it helps simplify your music as well. So we're gonna start this verse 1 with the E minor. So this is where our thumb is gonna open up 1 note here, and then E minor up in the top, okay? And we're just gonna do that nice simple marching rhythm with that together, right, right. All right, here you go. He came from glory, took on, move to the D, triangle over here, thumb here, flesh to save the, okay, G, lost, grace and C chord, mercy, displayed upon the D triangle, D here, cross, R-E. Okay, now we're just repeating those first 3 chords again. E minor opens us up, our redemption, he's the D triangle, hope for G, kind, one, C, name over D, everything. Notice I just went from that D to the E sort of quickly, okay? There wasn't enough time to do that together, right, and that's okay. And then that just repeats, one name over D, every, and then end on this G thing. Okay, let's take a look at that chorus. So we got, again, when you just take a look at your music at a glance, see if there's any repetition. It doesn't look like really there is for the chorus. The last two lines do repeat, but that's it. Okay, so let's start with that G chord. Jesus, A minor, over. Notice I had to quickly go through those, kind of block chording through there. And then the C picks us up there. Every G thing, E, C, reigns for E minor, opens that thumb up in my left hand. Ever, D triangle, more, okay, E minor, R, E minor, song for all, E. Well, notice how those two went quickly together, right? Turn it, G, T. Here's that C, Jesus, D, Christ is G, Lord. Okay, so typically verses repeat themselves. They're the same chords, just different words. So that seems to be the case with verse 1 and 2. Nothing new there. Let's take a look at the bridge. Take a look if there's any repetition. It looks like lines 1 and 2 have the same 4 chords repeated. D, E minor, C, G. D, E minor, C, G. That same 4 chord progression, you kind of see that towards the end as well. And then the E minor, C, G, you see this kind of pattern too, okay? So actually it looks like 4 lines and then the 4 lines repeat, if I'm looking at that right. Yep. So the first 4 lines get repeated with just some new words for the next 4 lines of the bridge, which isn't always common that a bridge is this long. Okay. So we start out with the D chord there, triangle here. Over fear, over E minor, shame, over C, all anxiety, G, T, over D, troubles, end all, E minor, pain, over C, sickness and D, G, Z's, for He, E minor, reigns on the throne, all C, praise to Him, G, Lord, 1 C, name over D, everything. And then you repeat this same 4 chord or the same 4 lines again, just different words. Over death and all sin, over hell, over the grave. Okay, so there's not a whole lot of newness there. You're just kind of going through these 4 chords. 4 lines repeat. What I would do is just go through right hand only with your chords of this entire song, and then maybe left hand the entire song, just getting your hand used to where the chords are going. Again, keeping that left hand staying put. Okay, so I'm going to play this song beginning to end so you can see how it sounds when you bring both hands together with the vocals and bring it all together. So I want to encourage you to sing and play along. When you mess up, because I do too, find your next chord, word, syllable that you can join in and keep going. All right, here we go. He came from glory, took on flesh to save the lost, grace and mercy displayed upon the cross, our redemption. He's the hope for all mankind, one name over everything, one name over everything, and Jesus over everything, He reigns forevermore. over everything. He reigns forevermore. Our song for all eternity. And Jesus Christ is Lord. Our song for all eternity. And Jesus Christ is Lord. Jesus Christ is Lord. Jesus,